When you ask a question, please state your name and media outlet. Minister Waltersson Granvall, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Strengthening children's rights and helping children in vulnerable situations is very important to me and the Swedish government. It's very important for me as the minister responsible for the rights of the child. For the entire government, the children's rights affect many policies and many areas of policies. For this reason, the Swedish presidency of the Council of the European Union has invited EU member states and important organizations to participate in the high-level meeting on protecting children. EU support for reconstruction and reform of Ukraine's child protection system. One of the purposes of today's meeting is to provide ministers and key stakeholders with an opportunity to share lessons learned on how to deliver support and key services for children's safety, rehabilitation, and future life opportunities. One of Sweden's most important priorities during the presidency is support for Ukraine. In this context, it is important to pay attention to how children are affected by Russia's aggression, and to discuss what we and EU member states can do to respond to children's needs. Children have paid an extremely high price for Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. They have been killed and wounded, uprooted from their homes, and in many cases separated from their families and caregivers. Of the millions of people from Ukraine seeking temporary protection in the European Union, children comprise a very large part. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the EU has taken firm action to protect children from the immediate threats of armed conflict. EU member states have condemned the illegal displacement and retention of Ukrainian children in the occupied territories and deportation to Russian territory. Our discussions today will also cover forward-looking topics. The need for social services and support efforts aimed at children and their families is estimated to be great in Ukraine for the foreseeable future. Reconstruction and reform of the Ukrainian social sector, including a modern and inclusive child protection system for children and young people, and individual and family care in line with European standards. These are urgent issues for the Ukrainian government. Sweden has also committed to be a strong partner to Ukraine in the reconstruction of the country. Ukraine is already expected to become the largest recipient of Swedish bilateral assistance this year. Sweden stands and will continue to stand by Ukraine's side for as long as it takes. In light of how badly Ukrainian children and their families have been affected by Russia's aggression, the Swedish government will consider how to best assist Ukrainian authorities and other relevant actors in the work to help the children of Ukraine. Concrete support is already being prepared with children and young people at the center. The Swedish presidency has initiated a declaration of support for the protection of children in Ukraine. The declaration aims to mobilize support among EU member states for continued commitment to the issue of protecting children affected by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The declaration condemns Russia's illegal forced transfers and deportations of Ukrainian children within Ukrainian territories under Russian occupation and to Russia. The declaration will be signed by a large number of member states at the high-level meeting today. And I now give the floor to you, dear Dubravka.
Thank you, Camilla. Good morning to everybody. You know that yesterday was International Children's Day, a day that reminded us that every child, everywhere, has the right to live a life free from fear, free from violence, and to thrive in a world of endless opportunities. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine deprived millions of Ukrainian children from this right. The European Union strongly condemns Russia's violations of international law and international human rights law, in particular with regard to child protection issues. We vehemently condemn illegal deportation and transfer of Ukrainian children, adding to the list of Russia's war crimes. We urgently call upon Russia to immediately stop these deportations, to put an end to the practice of so-called expedited adoptions, and return these children. Since July 2022, the European Union has imposed sanctions against 16 individuals responsible for the deportation and forced transfer of Ukrainian children, including Madam Lova Belova. The European Union continues to identify perpetrators for possible further measures. Our constant focus has also been the protection of unaccompanied and separated children, as well as children from institutions who require specific attention. Therefore, we will help Ukraine modernize its childcare system by building capacities, facilities, training staff, as announced by President von der Leyen on 2nd of February in Kiev. We warmly welcome the political commitment of you, dear Oksana, and Ukrainian authorities to the reform and modernize the Ukrainian child protection and care system. We have also discussed this in person when I met you in Kiev in April. The European Union is dedicated to supporting Ukraine's child protection reform. We will provide both financial assistance and expert support to facilitate a comprehensive childcare reform, focusing on family-based forms of upbringing and on the protection of children. The European Commission has committed to supporting Ukraine's childcare reform with a pledge of 10 million euros. In this regard, we welcome the establishment of the European Union Project Office in Ukraine under the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, which will design the childcare reform strategy for children's development and protection and coordinate its implementation. Approximately 1.3 million Ukrainian children currently reside in the European Union. The Temporary Protection Directive has been instrumental in providing these displaced Ukrainian children with immediate access to healthcare, education, and other social systems within the European Union. We are committed to continue ensuring their proper enrollment in education and work towards the mutual recognition of their learning outcomes. We are also working to ensure that children evacuated from Ukrainian institutions receive the best possible care and protection while residing in the European Union, according to our standards and with the best interest at the centre. The support for Ukrainian children who sought protection inside the Union is a tangible sign of European Union support for Ukraine. Ukrainian authorities are part of the solution from the outset to build capacity and share best practices. Once these children return to Ukraine, it will be key that they are not re-institutionalized. This is why our efforts for Ukrainian children inside the European Union and inside Ukraine are closely interconnected. A word on post-conflict reconstruction. We must ensure that reconstruction efforts and national reform processes mainstream children's rights and address their needs throughout. The best interest and the determination of children of Ukraine must be central to the national reform process. The European Union stands ready to support Ukraine in this process, together with other member states, the Ukrainian authorities, and our international partners, including UNICEF. As you, Camilla, said, for as long as it takes. Ukraine cannot be rebuilt without its children. Thank you.
Насамперед хочу дуже подякувати пані міністру Камілі Вальтерсон за те, що організувала таку сьогодні чудову подію, конференцію і привертає увагу до захисту прав дітей України.
First of all, I would like to welcome and say thank you to the Minister Camilla for this great conference and for the support of children's rights.
Також пані Дубравці Шуїці за лідерство серед єврокомісарів в питанні захисту прав українських дітей.
And to your commissioner for the support and for her leadership.
Як вже було сказано, вчора ми відзначали День захисту прав дітей. І, на жаль, вчора в результаті російської агресії в центрі міста Києва загинула одна дитина разом з матір'ю. Це показує, що немає дня і немає часу, коли наші діти можуть бути в безпеці від цієї війни.
As it has already been said, yesterday we celebrated the International Children's Day, but also yesterday Russians killed another Ukrainian child just in the heart of the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv. And from this we can say that there is not a single place and time when our kids can be safe.
На жаль, сьогодні ми можемо сказати, що 7 мільйонів українських дітей стали дітьми війни, і це відбувається, по суті, в центрі Європи.
And now we can say that around 7 million kids became children of war, and it's going on in the heart of Europe.
Їх вбивають, їх розлучають з родинами, їх позбавляють їх звичного середовища, найдорожчого, друзів, рідних, іграшок, того, з чим зростають всі нормальні діти.
They are being killed, they are being taken from the families, they are being taken from their usual environment, from what they love, from their friends, from their toys, from all these things that other kids have in their childhood.
Де би не знаходились сьогодні українські діти, чи за кордоном, чи в Україні, чи викраденими в Росії, їхнє життя вже ніколи не буде таким, як раніше.
And it doesn't matter where Ukrainian children are, whether they are at home in Ukraine, or they went to Europe, or they are stolen by Russia, their childhood will not be the same again.
Травми війни ще довго будуть відгукуватись в їхніх серцях, і нам треба буде зробити багато дій для того, щоб зменшити їхні наслідки.
War trauma will be reflected in their heart and soul for a long time, and we will have to make a lot of effort to do at least something with this trauma.
19 тисяч дітей сьогодні примусово депортовані, по суті, викрадені в батьків під примусом терору, під іншими різними приводами і заручниками, і є сьогодні заручниками Росії.
A lot of kids, around 13,000 children are basically stolen by Russia. They are forcefully deported to Russian territory. They are stolen and being kept in captivity in Russia.
І ми все ще встановлюємо точно кількість, місцезнаходження і хто ці діти, оскільки Росія відмовляється надавати точну інформацію і маніпулює постійно цими цифрами і даними.
And we still try to find out the exact number, the exact names of these kids, where they are from, because Russia doesn't give us any information and manipulates with this data all the time.
Тому я дякую всьому європейському співтовариству, всім організаціям, які сьогодні залучені в процес повернення наших українських дітей.
And that's why I am really grateful to European community and all organizations who are involved into the desperate tries of coming back of our children home.
Більше 300 нам вдалося повернути. Я сподіваюся, що настане цей момент, коли ми повернемо кожну викрадену нашу дитину.
And 300 children are already at home, but I am waiting for the moment when every child will be home again.
Разом з тим ми не зупиняємося і щодо захисту прав тих дітей, що сьогодні знаходяться в Україні або перебувають в евакуації в Європі.
But also we don't stop working on the protection of children's rights, both those who are in Ukraine now and those who fled to European countries.
Наша мета – забезпечити їм всебічну підтримку, розвиток соціальний, освітній, психологічний, медичний.
And our aim is to give them the all sides of our protection and support, medical, social and others.
Також зробити потрібно багато реформ для того, щоб всі ці сервіси стали максимально доступними і якісними як для дітей, так і для їхніх родин.
But we also need to make a lot of efforts into the reformation to make all these services available and for all the kids equally and to their families.
Це єдина можливість відбудовувати нашу країну після перемоги і забезпечити нашим дітям якісне майбутнє.
This is the only option of rebuilding our country and give our children the quality future.
Тому я дуже дякую за те, що сьогодні ми будемо обговорювати такі важливі рішення, яким чином підтримати українські реформи. І також я дуже дякую за ті ініціативи, які були проголошені пані Камілою в підтримку українських дітей і захисту їхніх прав.
That's why I am really grateful to everyone and to all the discussions which will be taken here in the support of children's rights and about all the statements the Minister Camila has given about the protection of kids.
Дякую.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for those statements. We are now opening up for questions. Yes, TV4. We have a microphone for you.
Hi, my name is Asa, TV4 Sweden. Do you question for the minister from Ukraine, please, Madam Minister? If you should choose one topic, what would be the most pressing need for the children of Ukraine today that you would ask assist from the EU and Sweden for?
Для нас найбільш важливо це підтримати родини з дітьми, тому що немає нічого кращого, аніж середовище родини, в якій може зростати дитина. Тож нам дуже важливо забезпечити підтримку всіх сервісів для родин, що зараз перебувають в кризі.
For us, the main thing is to support families with children, because there is nothing better than the family environment for the kids. That's why we would ask for the support of all the services which can save and protect families with kids.
Допомога включає також створення нових родин, прийомних родин для тих дітей, які втратили рідних батьків.
And this help also includes the creation of new families, foster families for those kids who lost their parents during the war.
Це найперше і найосновніше.
This is the first and the most important.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have received a question digitally from a Bulgarian media outlet called Club Z. Do the Ukrainian authorities have any information about deported or kidnapped children from the national minorities in Ukraine? And if it has, how are Ukraine and the EU trying to help them?
Я вже сказала про ту кількість дітей, які викрадені взагалі в Росію і про яких ми знаємо.
I have already said about the number of kids in general who we know about and who were stolen to Russia.
Хочу наголосити, що Україна багатонаціональна країна. І всі меншини, які є в Україні, проживали в абсолютному мирі і злагоді. Тож ми ніколи не ідентифікували дітей окремо, і всі вони для нас українці.
I would also highlight that Ukraine is a multinational country and all the nationalities, all minorities, they were living together peacefully. That's why we don't divide children into Ukrainian children and children of minorities. They are all our Ukrainian kids.
Тож, незалежно від того, якої національності, якого віросповідання, якої ще іншої приналежності є українська дитина, для нас вона цінна, і ми повертаємо однаково всіх і боремося за кожного.
So for us, it doesn't matter what nationality it is or what religion or some other traits. We are treating equally all the children, and we will be fighting for everyone, and we'll come back home, everyone.
Коли ми знаходимо дані про тих дітей, які були депортовані і викрадені, то для нас важливо члени їхніх родин, де вони перебувають, шляхи їх повернення. Ми не цікавимося їхньою національністю, воно не має значення.
When we got the information about a stolen child, we are interested in their parents, where they were living, and how to bring them back home, and we are not interested in their nationality.
Thank you so much. We have no further questions, so that concludes the press conference. Thank you for coming.